Good morning to you from my house. I'm about to go and get my car repaired, so I thought I'd sit down and share a scripture with you here. But also I woke up with a song this morning, but I can't sing it to you because my wife is still asleep upstairs. And so what I thought I'd do is I'd read you the scripture that the song comes from. The thought crossed my mind this morning that all the time we hear bad news. And I suppose if you turn on to most prophetic Christian channels, that's what you're going to get. You get it from me on a regular basis. If it's not the Antichrist, it's Klaus Schwab, it's Mr. Harari, it's world governments, it's leaders. It's all those people that are just doing bad for us all the time. But God's got a fantastic future for us. And it's all tied up in this scripture. And I'd like to first just share the scripture with you. And close your eyes, if you can, and visualize. Just think about what's coming. Because God is so crystal clear in the way that he puts it here. Through Isaiah 52. Awake, awake. Put on thy strength, O Zion. Put on thy beautiful garments, O Jerusalem, the holy city. For henceforth there shall be no more come into thee the uncircumcised and the unclean. Shake thyself from the dust, arise and sit down, O Jerusalem. Loose thyself from the bands of thy neck, O captive daughter of Zion. For thus saith the Lord, ye have sold yourselves for naught, and ye shall be redeemed without money. For thus saith the Lord, my people went down aforetime into Egypt to sojourn there, and the Assyrian oppressed them without cause. Now therefore, what have I here, saith the Lord, that my people is taken away for naught? They that rule over them make them to howl, saith the Lord, and my name continually every day is blasphemed. Therefore my people shall know my name. Therefore they shall know in that day that I am he that doth speak. Behold, it is I. And this is the song I woke up with this morning. How beautiful, or how lovely, upon the mountains are the feet of him that bringeth good tidings, good news, that publisheth peace, that spread abroad peace, that bringeth good tidings of good, that publisheth salvation, that saith unto Zion, thy God reigneth. Thy watchmen shall lift up the voice, with the voice together shall they sing, for they shall see eye to eye, when the Lord shall bring again Zion. Break forth into joy, sing together, ye waste places of Jerusalem, for the Lord hath comforted his people, he hath redeemed Jerusalem. The Lord hath made bare his holy arm in the eyes of the nations, and all the ends of the earth shall see the salvation of our God. Depart ye, go ye out from thence. Touch no unclean thing, go ye out of the midst of her. Be ye clean that bear the vessels of the Lord. For ye shall not go out with haste, nor go by flight. For the Lord will go before you, and the God of Israel will be your rearward. Behold, my servant shall deal prudently. He shall be exalted and extolled, and be very high. As many as were astonished at thee, his visage was so marred more than any man, and his form more than the sons of men. So shall he sprinkle many nations. The kings shall shut their mouths at him. For that which had not been told them shall they see, and that which they had not heard shall they consider. I know I've read this before on another video, but just the whole realization where God says in the first verse here, there shall be no more. That's the greatest promise of the future that we can possibly have. men make contracts with each other. You go into business with someone and, it's all written down in black and white how things are going to be. But how often don't men just break contracts? They just change their minds about things. But we serve this God who is unchanging in every way. And when he says there shall be no more, he really means it. He wants us to look up. Scripture reminds us all the time, doesn't it? Look up, for your redemption draws near. It's so easy, isn't it, to wake up in the morning. I don't know about you, sometimes if you've had a bad day the night before, the day before or whatever, and you wake up, the first thing in the morning that comes into your head is that bad thing. And that starts to depress your day. And God is saying, look, I know that there are bad things that are going to come. I know that you're going to suffer. But beyond that suffering, there's a renewed life coming, a renewed world. They call it a new world order. God too has a new world order, but he's going to remake the world. And he's going to remake it again in his image. And people again will stand and they will look to him. And they will sing for joy how lovely it is on the mountains to are the feet of him that bringeth good tidings. His feet, as the scripture says, his feet will stand on the Mount of Olives. And that will be a day of reckoning for this world like no other. A feeling of peace like no other. We get discouraged, don't we, when we see the blasphemy, we see all the hatred. We see the way that rulers rule with a rod of iron. Like it says here in verse 5, they that rule over them make them to howl, saith the Lord, and my name continually every day is blasphemed. God has to hear that in his ears all the time, that the people he created for fellowship with himself, the people that he loved, are shouting blasphemies against him. The Lord makes another promise here in verse 6. Therefore my people shall know my name. Therefore they shall know. It's in italics too in verse 6. In that day that I am he that doth speak, and behold it is I. I am he that doth speak. It's not easy sometimes, is it, to maintain your faith in a really, really tough situation. We waver, we falter, we oscillate. But he doesn't. We have to remind ourselves, don't we, day by day, as the world goes on and as as things get darker and darker. Joe Biden promised a long, dark winter. But we know that there's going to be an even longer summer. And that summer will be God's summer. It will take us into a world where he rules. We would have forgotten the former things. No more to be remembered. In a perfect world, in a perfect place where God is, there'll be no need and no room for bad memories. So I'll leave you with that thought today. And as I say, we have plenty of time for bad news. But sometimes it's good just to hear from God and to know that his plans for us are something beyond our imagination. And we need to hold that thought. So whatever you're going through today, whatever you've woken up with, whatever bad thought has come into your mind, I pray that in future times God can also wake you up with a song and make you realize that he is the one who reigns, and that his feet, when they stand on the Mount of Olives, that will just bring history to a close and a new dawn will come. Have a blessed day.